Hi everyone, it's me, Tim, and today I want to talk about my only self-censored video on this channel. Now, I've talked about a lot of things on this channel. Most of them are positive, and a lot of you have responded to that, and I appreciate it. I have talked about some negative stuff, and I do that mostly because I don't want to paint this false, rosy picture of the game industry, because there are good things and there are bad things that happen, and that's kind of what I want you to take away from almost every video is there's good stuff and there's bad stuff. There's really no heroes and villains. I'm not 100% pure. I'm not 100% good. Neither are the people I worked with, whether they're bosses or employees or colleagues. So, been through all that. One thing I really clarified multiple times is how I don't edit these. They're one take. I think the only edit I do is at the beginning and the end, so you don't see my finger reach in and press the on and off button on the camera. I've had to say on the chats I did, I tell people, look, I don't edit them. And I'm not going to go into it. I've invited more people to do it. Some are thinking about it. Some didn't answer. Some said no. You don't need to know who's who because I don't want you guys to think badly of anyone who doesn't want to do this. But I can tell you, the idea of being on a YouTube channel for some people is like, why open myself up to that? And then the idea that there's no editing is like, well, what if I accidentally say something? And I'm like, once I start editing things, it's a slippery slope to me editing in things so that questions and answers may appear disjointed. But anyway, I did self-censor a video on this YouTube channel, and that's what I want to talk about today. Some of you even noticed it. It was a video I did right before the one where I was joking about all the characters named Kane in games and movies and TV shows and books and everything. And I started saying, hey, I apologize, the previous one was kind of heavy. And a few of you are like, that previous one wasn't heavy. It was. I kind of don't want to go into the video other than at a very high level. It was about lies people have told about me. It was a sequel to the video I made on how people in the industry lie, whether they're lying to themselves, colleagues, bosses, employees. But this sequel video was about lies, particularly that I'd heard told about me or my games or Troika, the company I made with Leonard and Jason. And the way I'd put it together is I've commented many times that I'm making a memoir and it's over 500 pages. I noticed the word lie showed up in it a lot, and I'd searched through it and found, whoa, there were like a lot of things. Notes I took over the years were, oh, I just found out so-and-so said this about me, or this review mentioned this, or there was a comment about this. And so I thought, oh, well, maybe this would be a good video because I can personalize the video about lies. I can personalize it and say, look, this is what it's like to be lied about. I will say this about the video. It had a good theme. And the theme is something I do want to talk about here, which was I was surprised in all of these. Now, bear in mind, I've been told multiple times that I'm very optimistic and I'm naive and all this. So watch my videos. I'm sure it comes out. But I was surprised at how readily people believed the lies they were told about me. And this happened a lot. People I worked with for years. People who had my phone number or who could have called or texted me and said, hey, I just heard X. Didn't. They just heard the lie, bought the lie, repeated the lie. And I was like, whoa. And so years later, when I found out, I've called some of them about it. And here's what I was told. Well, that was what I heard. Or, well, how could you prove that this wasn't true? And then they were surprised. I'm like, because I have this email or I have this financial record or whatever. But the worst one was the people just go, I don't remember saying that. I'm like, here's the game forum you posted it on. Here's the email you sent out, or something. And they're like, I don't remember doing that. Like that's supposed to make me go, oh, okay, since you don't remember, okay. But then it made me step back. That whole video I did made me step back and look at a lot of things, news and politics and social media. and just how everyone is so readily believing lies that are fed to them that could trivially disprove. I mean, everybody has a device in their pocket that they could use to disprove these lies, but they don't. They don't do that. And that's one of the things I talked about in the video, that I realized I don't need to talk about the specific lies to talk about this, which is, why do people believe lies told to them? And I'll admit, I don't really know. Like I've said multiple times, I don't know why people do what they do. But I think for a lot of them, the lie fits into their worldview. So when you hear something that confirms something you already think, you're like, yeah. But also, sometimes lies are easier to hear than truth. People who are angry because they think I got them fired, it's probably easier to believe that than for them to go, I did do a few things that maybe I shouldn't have done. It's often just to go, nope, Tim was a jerk. I got fired. There was no reason for me to be fired. I was 100% perfect. But here's the thing. So I've said all that. That isn't why I deleted the video. That isn't why I self-censored on my own channel. I deleted it because when I make a video, I film it, clip the beginning and end, like I said, to get rid of the button, and throw it into a video processing software I have. Later, when it comes out the other end, and sometimes I may process 2 or 3 days worth at once, I view them. I was watching this video and I realized I didn't care about any of the lies. Not one of them. Half of them I didn't even remember. The only reason they were in the video is I found my notes on them. I'm like, oh yeah, that happened, yeah. And then the other half I hadn't thought about in years. And I could honestly say to myself, I don't care about these. I literally don't care. So why am I even making that video? And I thought about, like, okay, I don't care about the lies. I don't care about some of the people who told them. I certainly don't care about a lot of the people who believed them. And even the people that I do care about who said some of the lies, I realize some of them don't even care about themselves. And I thought about it and I'm like, you know what? This is enough. It's enough that I looked at it and I'm like, okay, these things happened. Luckily, I've moved past it. Why do a video and hash it up? Other than the theme of the video. So I deleted the video, but I want to kind of restate the moral of that story. What I learned from having a lot of notes that when I look at and I go, this is bad for me, but why don't I remember this? And why don't I care about it? So my first takeaway is be very careful of people who believe things blindly. When I was in grad school, a friend of mine had a shirt that said F authority. And another friend of mine said, I hate your shirt. And the reason I hate your shirt is it should say question authority. But the moment it says F authority, you've lost me. Because now you're making everything black and white, which is exactly what you don't like about authority. Like she said, you're the kind of person who will replace a government with your own government, which I will hate. And I think about that a lot. I think about people who are in politics trying to scare us into having more laws or more having our rights eaten away at, or make us scared of like socialized medicine. Oh my God, it's scary. Look at all the countries that have it. Yes, all these wonderful countries that have, birth mortality rates way less than the United States. Yeah, it's horrible. But I digress. See, I don't even want to get into politics, and that's what I worried about in that video. I'm just worried about when people blindly believe things just because it fits into their worldview or they want to suck up to the person who's telling them the lie. Just be careful of people who do that. I try not to do that. Don't believe everything I say. Look into it. And then the second thing, don't make other people's problems your own problem. And that was something that was sort of a secondary theme I realized was in the video, which is you can be empathetic when people tell you something. You can try to help them if you can, but you don't need to take it on. as your own personal cause. You don't need to go, you're right. That was horrible that happened to you. I'm going to try to fix this, or I'm going to tell everybody about this horrible thing. You know what? It's their thing. It's their story. It's their problem to work through. You can help them, but don't take it on and make it your problem. And I think that's something that in the past I haven't always done well at. I still remember my first time managing in Fallout. Someone came to me and had a problem, and he just told me the problem, and then I tried to go fix it, and then he got mad at me because he said, "Look, dude, I was just venting. I didn't want you to go fix it. The fact that you went and fixed it means that now people know I told you about it." And I was like, it was my first lesson in, oh, sometimes people just want to vent. They're not actually asking you to do anything. And sometimes when they are asking you to do something, you shouldn't. You should just go, look, I'll listen to you. I will give you advice, but I'm not going to fix this thing for you. So those are the two big lessons I had in that video. That without going back to that video, I just want to make clear. Be careful of people who blindly believe things that they're told, and don't make everybody's problem your own problem. I think if you do those two things, you have a lot happier life. Anyway, that was my very long-winded story about how I actually deleted a video from my own YouTube channel.